Alright, tubes, we got a little project here today. Going to put a CB in the Ranger here. I decided to pull it in the garage and work in here where it's a little bit warmer. But anyhow, it's going to be a pretty simple installation. I got my CB here. It's just a Cobra 19, just a basic radio. Nothing too fancy or anything at the moment. My antenna is the same one I had on my old rig on my 2000. Just a 4-foot fire stick. It's actually tuned up for 10 meters right now, so I might have to stick a spring on it or something to bring the SWR down and make it resonate in the CB band. And then coax here, I got some new coax. I'll explain why I had to get some longer coax in a minute. It's not real complicated. As a matter of fact, I'll explain it right now. I got a mount here I fabricated. I actually already had the piece of steel already bent, found it in my scrap pile. So I just drilled some holes and painted it up and got it all ready to go. Where it's going to go, I haven't decided on the side yet, but it's going to go on the back here, right where one of the cargo hooks is. And the reason being is on my old truck, I don't know if you guys remember, I don't think I ever did a video, so you probably don't, but it had a ladder rack in it. I didn't have the actual ladder rack hooked up. It was just the supports that came up on the side, and they came and stuck up probably 3 inches or so above the bed rails. And that actually worked pretty good. I mounted the antenna to it, so it was actually up pretty high above the bed. So not too much of it was down below the cab, and then it was also a little bit farther back from the cab. The reason I'm not doing that with this one is since I don't have those mounts, I would have to stick it right in the corner there with the cargo mount there, and that's it turns out I tried it out already. It's just too close to the cab, too down low. I was having all kinds of high SWR problems, so we're not going to do that. We're kind of mid-project here, so I figured I'd give a quick update. I wanted to point out that I ground down the paint off the tip of the mount here, and the reason for that being is when the mount makes contact here, you want to make sure that it's a good connection. You don't want to have a problem where it's not making contact there. So that's why I did that, and then I started to run my coax in. Of course, this is just temporary now. I'm going to probably wire tie it up in there. But I started running around the bed rails there, and it's going to go out the bed and underneath and into the truck. So I'll show that later. But I ended up deciding on the driver's side, really kind of arbitrarily. There's a couple reasons I can kind of give to justify it. One being that it'll be a little bit farther away from low-hanging branches on the trail. And another reason being is that the way the mount turned out, it happens to lean a little bit to the back. And I prefer that look as opposed to it leaning forward if I mounted it on the passenger side. But again, it's just a matter of preference, so we'll keep you updated. Alright, we now got the mount hooked up. That's all cranked down, and that's not going anywhere. And I figured it would be a little bit easier for me to show you the way I seal up my coax. I've never done anything too crazy. Some people get all kinds of special sealing and putty and cement, and I don't even know what they do, but they do all kinds of stuff to seal their coax. But I usually just use, I get some good electrical tape, some good quality 3M Super 33, and it seems to do a pretty good job for me. I just do like 2 good wraparounds, kind of overlapping pretty heavily, and not that it looks that good, but you know, function over form or whatever it is. So now I'm going to go ahead and I'll hook the antenna up, and we'll probably get the coax tidied up a little bit more before we do another update. Alright, so this about concludes our bed portion of the installation. I'll show you the whole antenna later outside, but we got everything all tidied up here pretty good. Put some cable ties in there, so the cable runs pretty nice under the bed rails there, and then it's going to go underneath. And so that's where we're going to go next. Alright, so just to show you where the coax is running, you can see that it goes down and it goes on an angle towards the underside of the truck. And what it does, I'm going to try and show you here. I don't know how well it's actually going to look. I'm going to try not to make you guys too dizzy. But it comes down and it goes on the inside of the frame here. So it runs inside of the frame. And I'm going to have to lay under there so you can see the rest of it. Alright, you should sort of be able to see that it runs up along the frame. It's the gray colored one. It runs along the frame. Of course, I've got it looped under right now. But it goes up under the truck and through this little grommet, which I took out. And the grommet comes out right under the driver's seat. And if you look here, what I did was I modified the grommet so that I could get the coax through it. It was a perfect fit. Any larger a connector on there, I wouldn't have been able to get it through. But that worked. And so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to push the rest of the coax through. Probably have to lubricate this a little bit to get it in, and then we'll seal it up. Alrighty, so this is what we got to work with up top here. I put the grommet back in, and I sealed that up, and of course, in order to get the coax in through the carpet, I did something similar where I cut a plus sign in it, and that worked pretty good. That's all done, all sealed up, and as you can see, we only got about 4 foot here, if that, to work with inside the cab or coax. So it's a good thing I got the 18 feet, and I would even recommend someone trying to do the same setup go with a 20-footer. That way you don't have to worry about it in case you want to run it up under the dash or something like that. So that's it here as far as our antenna installation goes. Thanks for watching, tubes.